Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me, as always, are my co-hosts from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Rebellious D and Double OT, Terrific Trav. How you fellas doing today?
Yeah. Ready to rock.
Ready to rock.
I am always ready to rock as well. And joining us today, we have a very special guest. You know, this man, he's a voice actor, illustrator. He has his own comic books out. This man is a jack of all trades, and that is Mr. Gerald Hill. Gerald, how are you doing today, man?
Hey, how's it going, man? Good to see you guys. How you doing?
It's good seeing you too. I see you got Spidey in the background. You know, I know.
He's interchangeable. I got a T'Challa around here somewhere too. I swap him out here and there. Good luck.
I like that.
My good luck.
You know,
Wakanda forever.
Yeah, you know, when we first started doing the YouTube videos and stuff, you know, I used to swap out my my pops and stuff, but now I just keep them as is.
My man got
it's too much work. It's too much to
set up. Yeah, that takes some time.
Exactly. You know, I mean, at the time we were interviewing so many people, I was just like, man, I'm not trying to change the pops every video because like we were doing like 3-4 interviews a week, and I was just like, nah, I'm good. But
for sure.
Anyway, before we get into this interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And D, like you say every time,
as always, podcast in the description. Like, follow, subscribe to the channel, and thank you all for watching and listening.
And Trav, your tip of the day.
Hey, man, look, if you get tired of something, just keep doing it. You get tired of switching them pops out, keep going. It's worth it in the end.
Exactly. Because it don't jiggle, it folds.
That's right.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into this interview. So, Gerald, the first question that I always ask all of our guests up here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who you are.
Oh, my. It will be hard all night if I go through the entire tale of my
Hey, we got it all night, man.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. Let me give you guys the condensed version. I've always been into comics. That's been my thing since I was a kid growing up. So illustration has always been my main focus. And that kind of led me down the rabbit hole of just creativity and storytelling and heroes and villains and characters and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, growing up watching, my favorites like TMNT, Power Rangers and all that kind of stuff. I was that kid that sat in front of the TV with like my costume on and like recited like every line because I watched it so many times. And that just kind of stuck with me. I kind of got lost in that world. So I started watching, like growing up, I watched all the behind the scenes stuff on the special features and how things are made. And I just got kind of obsessed. And then I would say, right out of high school, I started doing filmmaking, and I went to college for filmmaking, graduated for that. And I started that journey and I really enjoyed it, but something was kind of missing. And then a couple years ago, I went through some health stuff and I couldn't get around as much. So I started drawing again because I needed a creative outlet. So that's when I published my first comic book. It was in that time where I was laid up and couldn't really move around, couldn't really do anything because I had some back trouble going on. But that revitalized that love for comics that I had. So, and then I've had people, as far as a voice acting thing, I've always had people, your voices, you should do something with your voice. You should do something with your voice. And my wife's aunt, she would always say, like, you can do those. You should do those 900 numbers with your voice. And people would call you. And I didn't do it. But I hear there's a lot of money in that. But
you're like Mr. T.
Yeah, right.
Still collecting those paychecks.
But voice acting is something I've always been interested in, honestly, for years, even before filmmaking. But I was honestly, if I'm being honest with myself, I was terrified. I didn't know how to get into it. And it was something that I wanted so bad that if I failed at it, I felt like I would just be destroyed. But after some encouragement from my wife and family members, I finally took the plunge and dove in. And it's been, the reception from the voice acting community has been incredible. They're so helpful and motivating. And since then, I started out doing audiobooks, and I just landed my first video game gig with my time at Sandrock. And I got a couple of other projects, and unfortunately I can't talk about right now because we all know how the NDAs.
Okay. That's right.
So
We know.
I told my wife, I said, it's exciting having NDAs, but at the same time, I just want to talk about it so much. But yeah, so my time at Sandrock is like, that was like my thing. Like when I got that gig, I'm like, this is it. This is what I've been missing. This is what I feel like I'm meant to do. So I've just been hooked ever since.
Yeah, that's awesome, man, and that's an awesome origin story.
Yeah, congratulations too.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you reveal something to the world, and you break those NDAs, they're gonna come out like the Vegan Police and Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah,
they're gonna take your voice away.
I'm thinking like, make sure there's no sniper lasers.
I was gonna say, or you can take the Tony Stark route and be like, look at the cue cards, and be like, I am, and then cut the credits.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I just wanted to say, man, that's awesome that you had a really good support system when it came to you getting into voice acting and whatnot. And then, for you to land the gig in my time at Sandrock and you voiced Justice in the game. Now, I've seen some gameplay footage of it and it looks really cool, man. So
thank you.
I want to ask you, like, what was the process of, getting into my time at Sandrock? This is your first voice acting gig, man. Like, what was the feeling when you were told that, hey, you got the part?
Hey, look, okay, so this is a funny story. It all went fast. That's I have to start the story out like that. So, okay, I'm just auditioning, right? I'm fairly new. I've done some smaller things. And when I see something, I just audition for it. I went to Steve Bloom's. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Steve Bloom, voice actor.
Who's that? No, who's that?
Who is
that?
Who's
Never heard of that guy.
Hey, Gerald,
space
we're
cowboy. He's in space. No.
Yeah. Oh.
But I took his workshop, and one thing that he said stuck with me is always be auditioning. Like, that's the job. The job is auditioning. Once you get the job, that's when you get to have fun. Yeah. So I took that to heart, and I'm always constantly auditioning, always. And it's practice for me as well. Like, even if I don't get it, I try to at least learn something from it. But so I'm just auditioning. So I didn't even know I was auditioning for my time at Sandrock. A casting call went up, and it was, hey, can you, one of the criteria was, can you do a middle-aged, looking for a person of color. Can you do a middle age? Can you do a Southern accent? And I said, my grandfather, I think I've listened to him enough with his Southern accent that I can maybe try to swing something. So I'm just like, you know what? Feet first, let's go. And I hopped in the booth and I recorded it. Still didn't know what it was for. Sent it in and just kind of forgot about it. And a couple of weeks later, I got the NDA. Still didn't know what it was for. But sign this, and the client wants to shoot soon, and so I still had to be hush hush about it. But I'm excited. Like, wait, this is something. And then I got a call back that said, hey, the client really likes your voice. Can you do a retake? And it's between you and one other person. So I ran downstairs, did the retake, sent it in. 24 hours later, I got the call back, said the client loved you. They want to have you for the role. Now, mind you, I still don't know what the role is. Right. So I'm like, great, that's fantastic. And, everything sounds good. Everything on the paper looks great. And then they said, what's your availability like in the next couple of days? So I gave my availability, and he said, okay, I think this was like the 17th. And we had planned for the 19th, but we didn't take into account time zones. Yeah. So I went to sleep that night thinking I had a whole day to prepare and, get the sides and the script in the back, all the stuff. And I get the call the next morning, like, hi, this is, such and such, this is Gerald Hill. Are you ready to do your voice recording? And I'm like, what? I thought it was tomorrow.
Got him.
Time zones, man.
So I explained. I said, "Oh no, okay, yeah, I'm available. I'm not going to turn it down. I'm not going to say no. I'm asleep." So I'm like, no, give me 5 minutes. I'll be downstairs. So I ran downstairs. Like one of those movies. I'm putting on my clothes.
Static shock. You don't want a static shock.
Right. Try to get ready, and I get down here. But thankfully, she was such a amazing, understanding person that she was like, oh my God, time zones, and she understood, and we kind of just jumped right in, and she was like, so did you get the size? I'm like, I didn't get anything, because we thought this was, tomorrow. And so she was like, oh no. So she sent me everything. And I'm like, oh, that's when I found out. So literally in the booth, ready to record, not knowing who I'm recording for, what character I'm recording, I find out who I'm recording. And so I get this, I'm trying to maintain my excitement and my screams and my composure. And then so I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, that's what I found out was the day of recording. It was wow. who I was recording. And we went in and I got to see, a lot of the cut scenes and things like that. And, all that behind the scenes stuff. And we just ran it from there. And like I said, it was so fast. And, I sent them off and, and then I think like, because I was one of the last people to come onto the project, one of the last cast members. So by the time it was near early access, and like maybe a week or two before early access. But anyway, I get in there and I'm watching the live stream of them playing the early access, and then they walk past Justice and they're like, let's go talk to Justice. And I'm thinking like, well, maybe they don't have my stuff in there yet, because and lo and behold, as soon as they click the button on Justice starts like, howdy, partner. And I lost my mind. My wife is like recording me, I'm screaming, and it was just like the best feeling ever. Like I never, it was like an outer body experience. That's the way I describe it. It's like I'm watching myself react to someone playing a character that has my voice. So yeah, it was great, man. It was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do have another question that I wanted to ask you, but I wanted to pass the ball to either Trav or D.
Okay. Trav, you got some?
He's doing.
Yeah, I'll go right in.
Now my man got me emotional right now.
Yeah. Get it? Yeah, sure.
My man's over here making his dreams come true, and I'm so happy for him.
That's it. Okay, so Mr. Hill, going into question area I want to move into is illustration.
Okay.
I noticed that in your portfolio, a lot of stuff looks like it's digitally done.
Yes.
How did you feel about transitioning from pencil to digital?
Man, okay, so
something that I draw from time. It's just a hobby. And I never go ahead. I'm
gonna be honest. I hated it at first because again, I was traditional. I grew up traditional. Like I remember going to this. Gonna date myself, but I remember going to the library. Me and my cousin would print out all these. Print out the library is gonna hate me for this, but we used to print out stacks of Dragon Ball Z artwork.
Same thing.
And this was like Toonami time. So when Dragon Ball wasn't just it wasn't just accessible from anywhere. Like we knew Goku went Super Saiyan at some point, but we didn't even have those episodes in the States yet. So we're printing out all these pictures, and we would just look at them and just try to redraw them. And so all of my background comes from traditional art.
Yeah,
even through art school, and my oldest brother is the one who taught me how to draw. It was all traditional, but it wasn't until that I was going through the health stuff, because I gave up art. I stopped drawing, I want to say when I was 17, 18, and I hadn't I would do like storyboards every now and then for filmmaking stuff, but nothing like full-blown illustration. Yeah. So but here I am, I'm in my 30s, and I'm having these health issues, and I need, I'm like, okay, so let me just grab a pencil and paper. I started drawing, and it kind of started to come back, but then I'm like, man, people was talking about all this, digital art and this and that, and so let me give it a try. So I did it, and it was such a disconnect, from what I'm used to. And then like I went out and got like a cheap tablet.
Yep.
And I didn't want to spend a lot of money because I didn't know if I was going to be drawing, a lot. So I brought a tablet, but it wasn't one of the screen tablets. It was just a tab. So I'm drawing on the tablet with my hand, but looking at the computer screen.
Right.
So that's already a disconnect while I'm learning digital art.
Yeah.
So the more and more I did, I'm like, okay, I got to get me somewhere I could just draw on the screen.
Yeah.
And after doing a couple of commissions and building up some money that way, I was able to buy me my first screen tablet.
Got it.
Now that made things way easier because it kind of the tablet I have, it has like a screen thing on it that it makes it kind of feel like paper.
Got it.
That makes sense. So it was easier for me to transition. But I will tell you this: the moment it clicked for me, digital art wise, I will never go back to digital. I mean, traditional. I won't. I can't. I've tried it. It's still there, but I love digital art. Now I have to tell people, like, people think like, oh, digital art does it for you. No, it doesn't. You still got to learn. You still got to know how to draw. It just makes the shortcuts easier. You know.
Yeah.
There's been so many pictures I've ruined by drawing, pressing too hard, then I got to erase, and then you know. But now I just last a little up and do this and that. But yeah, once I won't go back.
I love watching those time lapses of people, and like it's hours of drawing, but you get to watching in like a minute and a half, and they're zooming in and out and selecting different thickness of the pencil and stuff. And
I always have to tell people when I post a time lapse, I said I did the Goku. I don't know if you guys saw my website. I did a Super Saiyan 4 Goku, which is
I saw.
Let me just say, hands down, still my all-time favorite transformation of Goku. I wish they would bring it back for Super, because I feel like I'm going to go off a tangent real quick. I feel like Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, that should be the penultimate transformation for a Saiyan, in my opinion, because it's so connected to their heritage and their culture.
So
probably the
best part of
GT. One of the only best parts.
Hands down.
Well, I mean, you gotta also put in Gogeta Super Saiyan 4.
Same,
but
true.
We talk about that baby Vegeta right now.
So
oh god.
But yeah, so I did the Super Saiyan 4, and that, again, just because you made me think about it, I did a time lapse of that. But that was like 3 days worth of work, sketching, drawing, inking, and doing the background and stuff like that. But I condensed it down to like 40 seconds, and I made sure, like, I put on my TikTok, like, this is hours of work cut down to 40 seconds of time, because a lot of people who don't see the art process thinks it just happened, like
any art,
bro. That blows my mind. Who thinks that you actually drew that in 40 seconds?
There's somebody.
I won't be surprised.
Well, you got to remember, some people do challenges, and then people it just gets muddy.
Yeah, I can draw something in 40 seconds, but it won't look like that.
Get your little Doug doodle, little Hey Arnold doodle going on.
And like, I'm a grown ass. I'm sorry if I can't say that.
Hey, you a grown ass man,
but I'm a grown ass man.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah, everybody gets one F-bomb, man.
I have a wife. I got kids. It's gonna take. It's gonna take.
Hey, that was a good show too, man. I really enjoyed it.
Wife and kids.
Hey, good show.
Yep. So, but yeah, I won't go back to traditional unless I absolutely have to. If I'm stuck out somewhere and I just need to draw something real quick,
and the end times are near.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
technology turns its back on you.
There's no electricity, and God forbid, I'll pick up some parchment paper and a quill and start
get it going.
Quill.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because we interviewed Harvey Tolabao, and you can watch his interview or listen to it on our podcast. The video is up here on YouTube. And one of the things that he touched on was, like how you were saying, when it comes to doing digital artwork, it is easier because it has so many shortcuts and whatnot. But he was saying that, like, hand drawing art is a lost art.
Lost art,
because a lot of people don't do it anymore. And he was just like, when he was teaching his classes, and the classes he still does teach, it's like, he always makes sure that hand drawing is
doesn't get overlooked.
I think I will say, as much as I love digital art, I feel like I wouldn't be as good of an artist if it wasn't for traditional art first.
Right.
Because that taught me so much in a stricter way. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't so many shortcuts and undos when I was learning the bulk of becoming an artist, all the fundamentals of it. So I had to learn that stuff, because that's how it was at the time. There was no other option. But now, so once I switched to digital, it's like, you mean to tell me this is, what sort of wizardry is this? Like, I've been doing this the hard way for years.
Right.
But I do agree. They go hand in hand, and I do try to make it a point to go every now and then do something traditional, because just for muscle memory, because I notice when I do go back, it's completely different. It's completely different drawing. So to avoid having to teach myself to draw all over again, every now and then I'll sketch something out. I got like 10 sketchbooks out here that people keep buying me. But I just
sketchbooks. They materialize sometimes.
Yeah, and I got some fancy ones that I just don't even want to use because they look so cool. Like I have an Assassin's Creed one that I got for my wife.
Oh, that's sick.
And I won't touch it because it just looks great. I just sits, it looks, it sits on there. Maybe one day I might sketch some Assassin's Creed stuff in it, but other than that, it's on my shelf.
Hell yeah! So pretty sweet.
Trav. Oh, I was gonna bring up, and this is like my last note on digital versus traditional cell shaded art or anything like that. But like, I'm all for the future, Bitcoin and NFTs and all this stuff, man. But you see, like the NFT market right now is crashing. Hey, but that Mona Lisa. That's still up in the museum, baby. You know what I mean? So it's true. Like, as we get our animation now, it's mostly digital and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's just you still can't beat hand drawn anime.
There's and you can tell the difference in my opinion. I think you can really, especially in animation, like you can really tell the difference when in it. But I might get some hate mail on this, but I'm not a fan of the NFT stuff. Maybe I'm just old school, man. I'm just old school. I feel like art is art. Art should be appreciated. It shouldn't be a commodity, a currency or anything. But that's just me. I'll leave it at that.
I think that you could almost go as far as just saying digital art is its own medium, just like oil paint it will always be oil paint, stuff like that. You might as well just separate them, really, because they both have their limitations. They both have their strengths. So
I completely agree. Obviously, they all stem from the same base, but I agree. It's a completely different medium and a different tool set.
Correct.
And it takes different training for digital versus traditional. Or like I couldn't paint to save my ass. I used to hate doing paint projects in school. Like I just can't do it. But I can color, give me some, crayons or color pencils, what's the big Crayola box?
Crayola.
I never got as a kid.
The one that got they had the
with the pencil
sharpener in the back.
Sharpener on the back.
I wasn't.
And it ain't sharpened for shit neither.
I wasn't lucky enough to have one of those.
Man.
I thought I was the man when
you had the crayons from Roses.
What was it? It was 64 in the box.
Yeah. Look, man. I would look
man.
from afar like a forlorn, lovesick teenager looking at my friends with their big old school supply box, and they whip out that big old box on the table of crayons. I'm just like, hey man,
and then they didn't even use all the colors.
Like, can I get a brown? And he's like, which brown? I'm like,
which shade?
Yeah, which brown?
Which shade of brown? Yeah,
brown. Like me, I'm trying to. He was like, oh, well, we got.
I used to get excited whenever I
you know what was crazy about that? When you would use up the color that was in there, right? And then it's just like, now I got to use one of these different shades, red or blue or something like that. That's not the traditional red that I want.
Yeah, you got to replace the whole box. You got to replace the whole box at that point.
Gotta go.
You got to go and play.
I thought you were singing that One Piece.
Yeah. Now look at it. He's smiling. He knows.
Don't start. No One Piece.
Oh, because we shot first tonight, Trav. JoJo couldn't get out of the seat that time.
But I have not seen the time lapse of the Goku, but I've seen the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and that you were talking about printing out stuff. Did y'all ever check out a site back in the day? And this is like early 2000s, blackgoku.com.
I knew you were about to say the Black Goku.
Yes.
Bro,
that was a good site.
It was deviant art, but strictly Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty much what it was. People would have like Super Saiyan Goku 20.
Yep.
All that crazy stuff. Hair looking like Shenron. That thing's just going all around like.
Look, man, that was like the origins of fan art of digital.
Good point.
For me, I'm just like, look, back then, we didn't even call it fan art. I'm just like, oh man, you see this dude did this.
Is this real?
He did this Goku, this Gohan with Gohan Super Saiyan 4 Goku Super Saiyan 4 Gohan or Gohan with, some dreadlocks or stuff like that. I'm just like, come on, man. Like, so.
Come on,
and
man.
what was crazy about that back then was, the older kids, like they could tell you anything and you would believe it.
Oh, absolutely.
I remember of course, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT, it was already done in Japan. And on the Black Goku, they had a picture of Gohan as Super Saiyan 4, holding the book and whatnot. And I remember like this kid told me, it was just like, yeah, in Dragon Ball GT, they all go Super Saiyan 4. And I was like, okay.
Look, and I was waiting for it. I'm a Gohan fan.
When it didn't happen,
I'm a Gohan fan. And I've been waiting for Super Saiyan 4 Gohan for decades now, and it still ain't happened. And I'm just now about to get some good version of Gohan since the Cell saga. Right.
Hey, I've been like Goku using Ultra Instinct, trying to just dodge every spoiler that's out there on there. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I do not understand why they did not release this movie the same time here in the States, man.
And I thought they were. I thought they said they were going to do that.
Originally, it said they were going to do that.
But I know the whole hacking thing got Jack messed everything up. I'm just like,
I still don't even understand what that has to do with anything. But
I'm just like, the hackers, man. I'm just like, can y'all hack my student loans and not hack my Dragon Ball?
Okay, well, look, you sit here talking about hackers, man. Like these two guys, because we live here in Virginia.
Oh yeah, I saw that earlier.
Hey, these two dudes, they hacked the gas station gas prices and lowered it to like 69 cents.
Look, I think it was like $2.59 or something.
Look, I can't.
They got arrested for that.
I don't condone criminal activity, but I wish I was there.
Hey, some heroes don't. Not all heroes wear capes, my man, and that's all I say right there.
Hey, and it's crazy because everybody will hop on Facebook about anything negative, but I didn't see anything about this gas station. I think it was somewhere out Virginia Beach. I'm just like, where were y'all at? Like,
I didn't even hear of it. I didn't even hear of it. I'm like, come on now, spread the love, like
Yeah, nobody said nothing on Facebook. Like, bro, get your ass down to X on the corner of X. You know what I mean? Come on down here. 69 cents.
Let it go.
Get you some gas and a glizzy right there.
My first car, my Acura Integra.
Oh man,
I was tuner car, a straight tuner, rice burner. But look, man, I would fill that car up for like $12 and drive for weeks.
Yeah, that's right, bro.
Weeks.
That and that Geo Metro. I think it's called the Geo Metro, right?
Now I could even, like $12. That's like, that'll get me to the down the street too.
I get you a couple days.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say that, bro.
No, that's one good trip there and back.
Because I remember I stopped at a gas station and I was just like, man, payday's right around the corner. I just put $5 in the gas tank and I was just like, dang, nothing happened.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, $5 ain't gas money no more, pimp.
Nah, it ain't.
Hey, when you go pick your friend up and take
you gotta put.
I got $5 on gas. I hope you got more.
You need more than $5 to fill up your gas can and cut your grass.
Getting the ride now is an investment.
Taco Bell don't even sell the $5 box no more. That jank like $6.99.
$7.
You had to change the name. It ain't called the $5 box no more.
Hey, Griff was just like, man, if they going up on gas prices, then we going up on our t-shirt prices. Hey, people gotta understand, man.
Look, man, all the other companies is doing it.
Exactly. Right. It's the same because I'm a professional wrestler, right? And it's just like one of the running jokes in wrestling is when promoters are like, yeah, I'll use you on my show. It'll be $20. It's just like, nah, you're gonna have to come up on the price, man. Hey, $20 don't even fill up my gas tank.
What's that? I'm gonna use that getting there. We're doing what I need to do.
It's like, come on, man. But no, I wanted to go back and talk about your first comic book that you put out, Gray Areas. And, I had saw your...
Okay.
Oh no, go ahead. What were you about to say?
No, carry. I thought you somehow tracked down one of my very first comic books from like my teenage years. So I was hoping you weren't talking about that.
Oh, okay, actually, hold on.
We can talk. Trav, go ahead and bring it out.
Yeah, we can talk about Gray Areas though. Go ahead, my bad.
But this was your first self-published comic book.
Yes,
and I saw on the website like this was like a very important moment for you. And you even said it at the start of the interview, man. And like let's just talk about that real quick, like. You told us you were an artist, you drew and stuff like that. So, like, let's talk about Gray Areas for a little bit.
The Gray Areas was a passion project of mine that I had to do. I literally had to do it because growing up, I just, as a teenager, I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make comic books. That's what I'm going to do. But I had so many back then. I had so many art teachers and tell me like, you're not going to be able to do that. you're a black kid. That's not, people actually tell me that, like, that's not what you guys do. You might want to play basketball or do some X, Y, and Z, because back then it was just Marvel and DC too, so that was even harder to break into the big two. But I'm just, now that I'm older, I'm like, what kind of person tells that to a kid, like that that just crushes their dreams and in that way? But it made me rethink a lot of things, and it was a part of why I gave up on that part of my dream, was which was creating comic books. And once I got older, and that's when I'm like I said, I went through the whole health thing, and luckily that was a blessing in disguise, because that revitalized. I don't think, if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have been drawing again today. Yeah. So I try to look at that as a silver lining in that aspect. But so yeah, I started to draw, and I had this story. Me and my wife, we write together. She published her first novel, actually.
Nice. Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And give her a shout out. Name drop.
Yeah, my wife Kelly Hill, she just published her first book called A Werewolf's Touch. It's a modern fantasy medical mystery series. So, but yeah, we write together, we create together, and she created this one character, because we do a lot of tabletop gaming as well, and a lot of times we create characters that we never use in the games, and this character Castiel was that character that I had for a sci-fi cyberpunk-ish type game that we never got to play. But me and my wife really like my character Cass and her character Violet. Her character is basically, she's a jewel thief. Think Batman, Catwoman's kid. That's kind of her. That's her character. And my Cass is he's a treasure hunting, planet hopping, I don't want to use the word pirate, but think Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake in outer space. Yeah. So
kind of a Steam Bloom kind of character. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. But he's Irish, right? So I have a lot of Irish friends. I've been into the Irish culture for so long. So it was nice being able to reach out to them and like, hey, I got this character. It's pretty dope. That I kind of I don't want him to be a caricature, right? Because me being black, we've experienced, people of color experience those characters, right? We know. So I didn't want to do that to someone else's character, someone else's culture. So so it was nice having that access. And look, when they found out, they hadn't even seen anything yet, but they found out that I was doing this. I wanted to do this book. They supported from day one. Like we have this Toledo Irish American Club here, and they found out about it. And once they found out about it, they supported hard stop, like full speed ahead, before I had anything really drawn up for it. But as I went ahead and did it, I started writing it and creating this world. I would like I said, I would go back and forth with them, and they were like, when you're ready, we want to do a big, like a release party for you and host it. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about anything. So for me, again, you guys have heard a little bit of my story of not being supported by a lot of people, growing up. This was huge. This was like, for someone to take this risk on, this wild idea that I had, that I wanted to self-publish this comic book and release it. And again, I have to say this, me being black, writing a story about a Caucasian Irish character. Yeah. So, I was expecting a lot of funny looks, weird looks, but I'm the type of person that I just like characters, no matter the skin color. To me, it's about who that character is. Now, I do believe representation matters, right? So, but still, I feel like we should be able, as creators, to create worlds that we want to create, right? In my world, it's not like a Tyler Perry movie where everybody's black. It's multicultural. It's diverse and this and that. So when to be able to have that freedom to create those type of characters and to be supported by the Toledo Irish American Club was phenomenal. And so here we are. I never thought it would be released. Those late nights I'm up, hunched over my desk, drawn and in pain, literally through the entire time I was writing that book and working on that book. I was in physical pain. I was going in and out of surgeries and this and that, but that's one of the things that kept me going. Like I said, having that support system in my wife, and a few of our other close friends helps tremendously. And we met the release date, and shout out to Comics Wellspring for printing our books for us. Picked up the first box of books like literally a week before the release party, and cried right there on the spot when we opened them up and looked at them and looked through the pages. And like I said, I talk a lot, so sorry.
Hey, look, it's okay. It's a change of pace for me and Trav.
Yeah, because usually I'm the one that's always talking. You know what I'm saying? So
you gotta hold up the red light, green light. Nah, it's cool, man. Go ahead, Mr. Hill.
So we talked about traditional and digital.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that, in my opinion, will never be replaced is having a physical copy of something.
For sure.
As much as I love digital art,
mm-hmm.
There comes a time where it doesn't feel real until I print it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
When I can hold it in my hand, then I can appreciate it more. It's not like just some digital file that exists on a hard drive somewhere.
Right.
So
for sure.
So going to pick up that box of books that existed on my hard drive, that only existed on my hard drive for a year and a half. And now it's here. It has my name on it. The cover that I drew is the rush of emotions. I'm getting emotional again thinking about it, but there was nothing like that. And then I only ordered 50 because I was modest. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to sell. I'm going to order 50, and this is just for the event. I'm going to take it to the launch party. Look, we sold out in like the first 20 minutes of the event, man.
Nice. Wow. That's awesome.
That's gotta be an amazing.
That's surreal, man.
Yeah. I didn't even know who was going to show up. Right, I didn't know who was going to show up and let her know that they were going to be interested in my book. But yeah, we sold out the first 20 minutes or so, and I had to order. I had to take orders. To do more orders of it, and we wound up we sold out of four boxes of books for it. And it was. And then COVID happened, so things kind of took.
Oh yeah, bring us back to locally. Yeah, then COVID happened.
Right. So now let me ask you, because that was volume 1. Is volume 2? Is it in the works?
Volume 2 is on my hard drive. At the point where I think I'll just have to ink a couple more pages and then do the final colors and flats. But it's almost ready. A lot of people ask about it. There's so many people who love the character Cass. He's this. They call him he's known as our ginger giant. He's this big guy, cybernetic arm. And, at first glance, you think he's like this hulking badass, but he's like this giant teddy bear. I mean, he'll still kick some ass, but
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people are waiting for Cass's return. And I'm telling them, give me some. It's just me, y'all. If y'all watching, it's just me. It's just me doing it. So it takes a little time. I don't have a team or anything. But in the meantime, I was doing I don't know if you guys got a chance to see the second comic that we published, the webtoon.
I was about to bring it up.
Okay, all right. Yeah. But during COVID, we did that. We released it. Me and my wife actually wrote that together. And it's a story that we had for years. And it was like, let's just crank this out and test the waters out with digital comics because we wanted to do something to be able to get stuff out to people faster.
Yeah.
And these bite size
webtoons is the way to go.
Right. It's a lot of work to keep it up with webtoons, but yeah, so we did that, and life happened again, man. We lost my mom, my wife's mom, my mother-in-law, halfway through the first season, and that hit us hard. So we had to take a break on that one.
My condolences.
Thank you. Yeah. And it's hard, man, because she was our number one. Like, she supported anything we did. So not having her there just kind of disrupted a lot. And we were grieving. We had to give ourselves, and we still are giving ourselves that time to grieve. But we could still pushing forward, man. We're still pushing forward, and Code Echo will be back, and like I said, and then this whole voice acting thing just blew up that I didn't expect to blow up. So I'm a storyteller at heart. So right. I will find any way to tell the story, whether it be comic books, filmmaking, voiceover, audio dramas, things like that.
Great trait to have when creating.
So voice acting is my passion, followed closely by art and illustration. So yeah.
Hey, now you're doing it all, man. You got the audio books.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, hey, who knows? You know, you could be building your own company and creating your own content that's not just comics. You know, you can also
that's the plan. That's the plan. We got me and my wife. We got a couple of audio dramas, audio books, podcasts.
Audio dramas. That's the word I was looking for. Because I love those. I just started getting into them. I just started getting into the story podcast when we watched Archive on Netflix.
I remember.
I didn't know these things existed.
It's like a resurgence, a renaissance.
There's so much stuff out there, man.
Yeah, it died off. Like obviously we know the old school radio.
I was gonna say I remember like my elementary school teacher like putting the tape in.
Yeah,
you know I mean?
And but since podcasts have taken off, I think that kind of reignited that. It's
so good because the technology's
that passion, that passion for it, and I just got cast in a audio drama.
Have you checked out the new Batman on Spotify?
Yes, the Batman. I've been listening to Batman, the Marvel's Wastelanders.
I haven't heard that one yet.
What else? I'm listening to a couple.
Star Wars has a one that came out last year for High Republic.
Yeah,
that came out. So.
Me personally, gentlemen, I listen to that Critical Role.
Yes,
Critical.
It's something about the way that's just done. I mean, it's just
Matthew Mercer and that entire group,
the mastermind.
Like,
they're all elite too. It's so amazing.
That's
elite.
That's goals. I'll say that. That's goals. When I look at them, that's goals where they took something that their geeky game that we all know that we all do it. You know.
Yep.
And
Banks and I play idea.
They took their passion for that and made it their living. Right.
Right. So,
and
it's amazing.
That's the dream, right? That's the dream. That
I mean, if that's your idea of making, we'll say, side money for them, then that's amazing.
Right.
That is amazing. Sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons.
Right. You know, like voice acting is our career, but on the side we got this huge.
Yeah, we'll play Dungeons and Dragons and make it epic.
This Critical Role thing over here on the side that just
so fun.
I don't know if you guys seen the animation on.
We have.
We
reviewed it. It
was
good. And I love that they dropped 3 episodes at a time.
Yes.
So because it's so fun. You just want to, most shows, if it's good, you want more of it.
You just want to cuddle.
They actually gave you.
What you about to say, D?
Take it easy.
That's what I thought I heard, but I just let it pass.
Thank you. I
you hearing something? When we get done, I need you to clean your ears out.
I love a good cuddle, bro.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on.
Hold on. I need a cuddle.
Something that we did not mention at the start of this interview, and I don't know how it went over all our heads. Glasses game.
Oh yeah.
You didn't say this. Welcome.
Yeah.
I just realized it.
It's super powerful.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and go this way with it, Mr. Hill. You mentioned that you and your wife play tabletops.
Yes.
What types of tabletops do y'all play?
Okay, so we've played D&D, but her uncle is who got us into tabletop gaming. But he's the type of GM that will literally remix. Like he'll take Pathfinder or a rule book and literally like take what he likes out of it and and creates his own thing of it.
Homebrew.
So a lot of those I've played just about every I'm
script, I guess.
Yeah. I play just about every, but they're always tweaked because he's about story first. Whatever, we always got that one guy in the group who always wants to refer to the rule book, and he's like,
"Of course, I have one of those."
And he has,
we do.
We have one of those.
He has this rule where he says, I might say like, look, I want to run up this wall, bounce off of it, flip over, grab the chandelier, drop down, and do this. And now my guy Mike, he will go to the rule book like, well, you got to do this, you got to do this. But then the GM is like, well, look, wait for that. If you can describe it in a way that will blow me away, I'll let you have it.
That's a fun rule.
So it literally, for like, especially for like an actor, a voice actor, this helped me a lot with improv as well. Is being able to off the cuff come up with these characters and
harebrained schemes.
These character actions and I give a lot of credit to Tabletop Gaming for what I can what I do and bring to the table when it comes to voice acting. So but yeah, that's we play a little bit of everything.
Banks has actually taken some intro lessons, we'll say, right, Banks? Is that what you would consider them?
With Matthew David Rudd, and I highly tell everybody to take his classes because he's a really good teacher, and I really need to get back into it. I hear this all the time from people that want to get into voice acting or who are doing voice acting, is that it can be really hard. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like when it comes to juggling, things that you have in your life, because like you, for example, Gerald, it's just like, you're a comic book artist and
jack of all trades.
Yeah, you're a jack of all trades.
That's what they used to call them 20 years ago.
You coach your daughter's soccer team and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you're busy. And
it's for real. Wow.
It's just trying to find that balance. And D always tells me all the time that I need to find balance, because for me it's literally work, the gym, and then the podcast. And then if I'm not, and then whenever I do have free time, it's like I'm wrestling, or we're at the cons now interviewing people at cons. So it's like we stay busy, man. So
it's a daily battle. That's I would tell people. It's a daily battle to try to push out as much as I can and be present for the people that I need to be present for. Right. So, I'm a husband, I'm a father, and those will always come first. Yeah. But the great thing about it is they all know what my passions are, what my dreams are. Yeah. So they'll make way for me to be able to do a lot of the things, that I can make time for. So, when my daughter asks me to coach her soccer team, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it, because you do that for me. Like that we're a family, we're a team. So, and I gotta give a shout out to my boy Ted Lasso. That kind of that helped me too. That helped me too. And that show came at such a good time for me. It's such a wholesome show. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Ted Lasso, shout out. But yeah. So, but every day, I'm not perfect. I slip up. Time management, man. Time management is my kryptonite. I try to, because again, like you. Before the podcast, I'm down here in the booth, and when I'm in here, I'm so into it. I love it. And there's I feel like I stepped inside a hyperbolic time chamber.
I was just about to reference that.
Right,
you said that,
and
I drink to that one.
Yeah, and I step out, and it's been like when I came in here, it was daytime. Now it's the sunset, this and that. So, but and it's just. Having a support system is vital with building any dream.
I agree.
Building any dream. Now, obviously, there's that part where you have to be able to do it with or without it, but it makes it a whole hell of a lot easier if you have that foundation that will encourage you on the days that you don't feel like doing it. There's days that I love drawing, I love doing voice acting and the things that being creative, but there's days I just don't have it. There's days where my body's like, nah, bro. You was up till 7 o'clock last night, until the morning. Like, you need to sleep. Like, or we gonna stop before you. But but then my girls will be like, hey, daddy, did you record something today? Or what character? What character? So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go downstairs. I tell myself, even if it's just one bit, like I don't time myself. If I can go downstairs and record one thing, it could be a short audition. Or, if I can go downstairs and sketch something out real quick, work on a commission. I don't have to finish it because that's what becomes overwhelming. We get into this instant gratification in life where we feel like we got to be always hustling, right? We always got to be hustling. If we're not hustling, then we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. No, it's self-care, man. Right. But it's a healthy balance of self-care and, drive, right? And that extra drive. But if I could, it was, I'm trying to think of his name. He played Raphael in the latest Ninja Turtle movie.
I know who you're talking about.
Big dude. He was Aquaman in Smallville.
He's on Jack Reacher.
Right.
Jack Reacher.
I saw a video.
It's not. I was gonna say Alan.
Alan Richardson. Alan Richardson.
Right.
Yeah. I saw he had a story up on his Instagram page, and it stuck with me. He said that on the days he doesn't feel like going to run, he'll tell himself, if I could just get down the street to the stop sign and back, then I can do it. And that's a short goal, right? It's just the stop sign at the end of his street. But he said, but every time I go to that stop sign, I go past it. Right. Because it's about starting, right? It's just about starting.
That's a great point.
Those are wise words.
And that hit me so hard. And it's like, instead of me thinking about the big picture, I got to go downstairs and record this full chapter to this audiobook, right? And then I got to edit this full chapter to this audiobook, right? Just go down and get one paragraph out.
Yeah.
Just get one paragraph out. That way I can at least say to myself, I did something. I attacked that today.
Yes.
I did that.
Yeah,
today.
no,
but like he said with the stop sign, once I'm in the booth, I'll get that whole chapter done, and then it's just about starting. And like I said, no matter how big or small it is, as long as you do it, as long as you put some kind of time into it, that's kind of I'm a time guy. Like my,
same.
That's my word. I went to this one meeting with my wife, and the guy asked the question. He said, "What is your word for the year?" And everybody gave up all these other words, happiness, peace, and it took me a while to think about. Mine is time. I always feel like if I had more time, right?
Yep.
You're not talking about the spice, right?
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Nah. I got plenty of that upstairs. That's going bad because I haven't used it.
You gotta have those seasons, man.
Right.
Hey, hold on, you said it's going bad?
Yeah, I got so much of it. I haven't used it.
Hey, look, it never goes bad.
Banks don't believe in stuff going bad. Steve will tell you too. Bad. This man don't believe in
those seasonings, they'll stay up in that cabinet.
Oh God.
But I wanted to piggyback off of something that you were saying about like the whole, when it comes to managing time and whatnot. And I'm the same way whenever I go to the gym. Like I'll be like, okay, it's like I'm just gonna cut everything in half because I got like if I have an interview tonight or something like that, I just want to make sure that I'm at the interview on time. And it's just I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and do the whole workout, and then I'll do the whole workout, and then I'll do everything. And like I've gotten to the point now where it's just like I can do everything that I need to do in that hour because I always do an hour of cardio after I do all the main stuff, and I'm always able to knock everything out. So I agree with you when you say that. It's just like sometimes it's like you just got to get that foot in the door, and then once you start,
it's the hardest part.
Then, then the ball just keeps on rolling. Because like even after this interview tonight, I'm going to the gym, and it's probably
the hardest part is driving there, using that gas. That's
because
the hardest part.
You will literally think of every reason not to, like and like that. Oh, just to circle around back to voice acting, like it took me years. This is something I want to do since I was like 18, 19 years old, right?
Yeah.
I'm 30. I just turned 37, and I just started this March.
Right.
And it was fear. It was me pushing past the fear and the self-doubt. Yeah. But I started in March, right? And this is not a brag, but this is me trying to be an example to other people. Is I've accomplished so much in these 2-3 months. I'm at few months with voice acting, and I just had to start. I literally just had to start. And now I look back like, man, I wish I would have started this so long ago, but everything has a season, right? Everything has a season. And I feel like everything I've went through on my journey has better prepared me to be able to manage and bring my life experience to these characters that I'm portraying. And these stories that I'm telling, and learning how to foster these relationships with, these other, fellow voice actors and voiceover artists. And the community is, I've been a part of a lot of creative communities, and a lot of them can be very isolating and very the crab mentality. Oh yeah, and everybody's
crabs in the barrel.
But I have not experienced that with voice acting at all. And obviously it's not perfect. There's always some bad eggs, but from my experience, it's been one of the most welcoming groups.
Oh, absolutely.
I've been a part of, and I add that to my success. Like that's a part of my success is these people that I've met along the way that have, guided me and, taught me and, things like that. And just even like, hey, just go here to this website or buy this microphone or, look at this booth or, this DIY stuff. Just even the simplest stuff like that. Like it's, I'm humbled by the generosity of this community, and that's just,
I mean, as people, the three of us interview and get a chance to meet and interview so many of you guys, and girls, it's just, they're genuine people, we haven't had, we haven't had it, not yet, knock on wood, but it's
right.
it's so nice. And then just to hear them, and we'll ask them questions like, if there was anything you could pass along to help somebody, and they always, most of them give us different answers, which is interesting. Yeah. And it's just they're always, that's a good sign that they're willing to help. It's not a same generic answer,
right? And everybody's experience is different. Like my experience for getting into voiceover will be completely different for anybody else. You know, I can give you all the advice, but I try to keep it simple, and because I never want to put out daunting words to someone like, oh, I did this, I had to do this, I did this, X, Y, and Z. Exactly. It's just start, just record, just record yourself, practice, and train yourself, train your voice. Your voice is a tool, and learn how to use it and cultivate it, and just meet as many people in the voiceover community as you can, because you're going to learn something from everybody. I guarantee you.
Sure.
No matter big or small, you're going to learn something. I get on Twitter, and I'm only on Twitter for voiceover stuff or art stuff. And I got to check my Marvel news because I'm a Marvel head. Hey. But other than that, I'm always, every day I see something like, thanks for posting that. Thanks for posting that. Yeah. And like we met on Twitter. Like if it wasn't for Twitter, when you guys reached out, I'm like, Kels, tomorrow, like, Kels, I think I might be getting spammed. Somebody wants to interview me about my voice acting career. I don't even know if I can call it a career yet, but but that's just me with anything. I can be humble to a fault, and I'm trying to get past, get past it, put myself out there more. But I appreciate you guys giving me this opportunity to be on the show.
Oh, for sure.
We appreciate you.
The cool thing about this though is that, because like you said, you've only been doing this now for a couple of months now, and you have all of these projects that you can't say because of NDAs. But the thing that's cool about doing these interviews is your fans, they'll come back to this and then they'll be like, oh man, like it's just like if he started at this age, then I can start at this age too. And like that was one of the things that I was always told when I started wrestling, because like there was a guy there who was in his 50s when he started, and his whole thing was he just wanted to wrestle a match. That's all he wanted to do. And of course, it's like you said, it's just like, dang man, if I would have known it was this easy to get into wrestling and train and learn the craft and everything, I would have did it when I was younger. So I feel like there is no number on when you should start something in life, but at the same time too, it's just like, even when you do start it at the age that you are, the only way up is up. You just keep going up from there.
Unless we talk about having kids, then we got to cap that.
Nah, you can have kids at an older age.
Hold on, bro.
You can. Doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, we don't need we don't need the 70-year-old dad.
Look, I got 2 kids right now, and my wife, when she see a new baby, she be giving me that look, and I'm just like,
same here, and I say no.
I'm like,
I say no.
I said no, I'm good.
I'm tired.
I'm all the way good.
I'm tired. It's
like, that's my catchphrase. That's my catchphrase.
I'm tired.
I always said this joke like my boy Bruce Better. I said, that's my secret, Kels. I'm always tired.
I'm always tired.
I tell B that all the time.
Yes, he does. Unfortunate.
That's my secret.
One thing I wanted to say too, with things that you're passionate about and things that you just want to get into, a lot of times I think it's just, if it were easier to find people that could answer the questions that you have about something, you probably do it a lot faster, to be honest with you.
That's true too.
But it's just, especially when you get into unique things like art, if you don't know people, and on top of it, if you're shy, then, it'll take you twice or 4 times as long. But like things like wrestling, how would you know? The odds of exactly.
If I wanted to, if I wanted to wrestle, I just wouldn't even,
Well, now you just go to Banks.
And then and there's that bit where there's too much information out there.
That's true too.
There's so much content on YouTube.
That's true too.
Where people's telling you one thing, and then you have to sift through so much stuff.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy, man.
And like I said, that's why cultivating actual relationships with people.
It takes a village.
Is where to me, that's and I'm an introvert. I'm a at least I guess you can say I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert when I'm talking about stuff I'm passionate about. Like, I can talk your ears off all night if y'all don't cut this. If y'all don't cut this thing off about they're like, man, damn, this dude's still talking. I gotta go get my dinner.
He's good.
Like,
gotta hit him with the thought bubble.
We had Bo Billingsley up here, and you can listen to his episode or watch the video up here. It is on YouTube, and I want to say it was like 2.5 hours, and he could have kept going. He was
just telling us stories.
Yeah, he was just telling us stories. Yeah,
it was crazy because he's such a legend. You just sit,
and you just listen. Like,
when am I gonna get to do this again?
Right. You know? Like, I'm not about to tell him to stop.
Jet Black. I'm gonna say here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, it's just Go ahead, Banks.
Sorry.
You got it.
No, I was just gonna say we're here at the end of the episode actually now.
Yeah, and, we made it, guys. Hey,
we did it, and D at the end of the episode, he always has his two famous questions that he loves to ask all of our guests. So, D.
Okay.
Oh, well, hold on. Before this, Trav, did you have another question that you wanted to ask before we wrap this thing up?
You want to slide something in there, Trav?
The moment's passed already, bro. The moment's passed.
Okay.
It was a blast, man.
It was a blast.
Hey, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say is thanks for joining us first and foremost. And in the words of Michael, say goodnight. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I had to slip Michael in there. You don't know who that is yet. We might convince you.
That's his cuddle buddy. That's his cuddle buddy he was talking about.
Okay.
Oh, no, he ain't a cuddle buddy. He tried to take out our classroom one time. Ain't all right, Banks. Cuddle buddy. All right. Okay, so first question, favorite 80s or 90s movie, or you can give us both if you have both. Love it. Here we go, Captain.
Oh man, you can't. Dang, you just prep time for this. Favorite
80s or 90s movie, regardless of genre.
I'm gonna say Back to the Future.
Classic, instant classic.
The Last Dragon is is up there with me.
Oh, I'll take the Last Dragon. We ain't got that yet.
We'll go with
Last Dragon.
We go with Last Dragon. I
got something for you in these hands.
All right. Lean is pretty. Show enough.
Gerald, let me ask you this real quick. Who do you think will win in the fight between Show Enough and Apollo Creed?
Show enough, man.
Yeah, probably Show Enough.
Show enough, man. I think he would just distract Apollo Creed so much with his.
I saw this meme a long time ago, and the fandom was split on who would win.
Man,
the fandom was split.
Go ahead and enter that into the people that do Death Battle, and we'll get our answer.
Right.
I thought he was going to ask what's the top 5 moments.
I'm gonna say.
We gotta wait for that.
I'm gonna say Show Enough. Final answer. Show enough.
All right. Hey, wonderful answer. Second question: growing up, was there anything that scared you, spooked you, and stayed with you? Whether it was a creepy lullaby, movie character, some guy, some creepy old man that lived down the street, like in Monster Squad.
Can I give you two?
Anything.
Can I give you two? One's a small one. One's a big one.
Okay.
Number one, the small one. Quicksand. There was quicksand in every movie and cartoon series I watched. I thought that was preparing. I legit thought that was preparing me for something in life. Man, I need to be ready. Like
this whole time, it was a metaphor.
I could be walking down the street and just, oh my God, I'm in quicksand. What did it say do? What did it say to do? Mm-hmm. So quicksand used to this day, I'm still wary of quicksand popping up out of nowhere. 2, the Michael Myers music, the theme music, the piano.
Pretty epic.
There is something about, and my brother, my oldest brother, I'm the youngest of 4 boys.
Okay.
And my brother was heavy into horror. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was not. Nope, I was not. But he used to have his girlfriend come over all the time, and they would, she about to come over. They about to watch all these scary movies, right? So I would be I'm like 8, 9 years old in my room, and I hear that. I'm just like, oh. So literally to this day, when I hear that, it triggers me, and I'm just like, I'm gonna close with this one small story. It's not, but like my friends know this about me, about Michael Myers, right? So one Halloween we went to a haunted house. They talked me into going to a haunted house. Fine, okay, whatever. We went to the haunted house and we came back, right? And then we went back to my wife's mom's house, and she called us while we took separate cars. She said, hey boy, can you go to Kroger and get a gallon of milk? No, I didn't think about it, because she's actually, it's 9 o'clock. I wasn't suspicious. Like, why she need a jug of milk for?
Yeah,
whatever. Okay, I'm not about to say no. So we go and we get the jug of milk and we come back. We pull up to the house, but all the lights are off. like on their house. It was like pitch black. So already I'm like, okay. All right. So we get out, we walking up, me and my wife walking up, and we're young. I think I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm 19. I'm 19 right now. 19. Yeah. And we're walking up, right? And they have this, it's pitch black, right? And we're walking up to the door, right? And they have this big pine tree on the right side of their house where it's like, it's even darker. So you can't see anything in that area on the side of the house. We walk up, and as I'm opening the door, the screen door, I see this something move out the corner of my eye. And I look over, and it's that white, pale Michael Myers mask. Right? And instantly triggered. Captain
Kirk mask.
Instantly triggered. Right. Can't
That's what it is.
Right. Yeah, I'm instantly triggered, right? And I'm like, my brain checked out. A whole you know, I'm a kid again. I hear the music, and he takes a step for me, and I tell my wife, run. Right. So I'm thinking my wife runs. She sits down in the lawn chair, like she just collapses in the lawn chair. I took off, right? I still apologize to her to this day. I'm like, why'd you sit down? Why'd you sit down? I told you to run.
Did she know? Was she in on it?
No, she didn't. She just panicked and sat down. Her response was to sit down. Right. But she sat down. He went past her. So I'm like, well, she's safe. Wait, he's coming after me. So I tear off, running my ass off. Right. And I'm like running down the street. And so fast, right? Like, you know, Usain Bolt, fast. Yeah. Tom Cruise, you know, running. And all of a sudden I hear, Gerald, stop, man. I'm so sorry. I turn around, it's my best friend, dude. He takes off the mask and I'm just like, you know what? You know, you never know who to trust, man. You never know who to trust.
Look, I totally understand that. And
I'll leave it on that.
It's crazy that you
That's
have
a wonderful answer. We'll take it.
It's crazy you have a Michael Myers story, man, because one of my friends, professional wrestler Mad Max Morrison, we were coming back from a show one night in North Carolina, and it was late at night. I want to say it was like 1-2 o'clock in the morning, and we were driving his truck. And this was the first time I had ever been inside his truck. It was me, him, and another wrestler. And so I'm driving, him and the other wrestler, they're asleep. And, you know, I don't know if you've ever been to North Carolina, but like there aren't any street lights out there at night.
I don't like it.
So I'm driving and it's like, you know, I tap the brake and then I look in the rearview mirror and I see Michael Myers. And I was just like, oh shit. And like I slammed on the brakes and everybody woke up. They was just like, yo, what happened? Like, did you hit a deer or something? And I was just like, yo, like Michael Myers was in the back seat and like that shit scared me, man. And he's like, oh yeah, that's my Michael Myers sticker that I got on my on the window in the back. But I didn't know. And like he'll always tell people about that story about Michael Myers because like that shit scared me, man. I was just like, yo, it's like I was the only one up. I'm driving. And I thought it was literally something because I mean, you never know. You know, you stop at a gas station, somebody
you never know. If it's Michael Myers or not for real, I think you know, bro.
Hey, anybody can put a mask on and carry a knife around.
Especially if they got the shape, if they're big.
That's the thing that's the thing about Mike that always freaked me out because like Freddie, Freddie was always funny to me. You know, Jason, whatever. Okay, Mike, man, he's too real. He's a little too realistic for my take. So all you gotta do is get somebody with a Dickies jumpsuit and a mask and a butcher knife, and I'm like, look, man, no, you know, that's a little too close to.
We got our boy Joe. We got Joe Grizzly with us though, so we ain't worried about it.
Well, remember, Mike can drive. Remember that.
Yeah, it don't matter how fast you are. Like you can get in that car and you can drive all the way to California.
When you get there,
Michael Myers
will be there
the entire
just
way.
Walking. Yep. He'll just walk. And he gonna beat you there. He
wake up the next day, that station wagon be out front.
Like who's talking about who's talking about I was just like,
they still don't know. They still don't know.
I'll tell you, my quick saying to Michael Myers, beware. Those are my life messages.
Those were great answers. Those were, man. Story time up here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. So, Gerald, thank you so much for joining us up here, man. You are awesome. You are a delight. You are welcome. I'm glad that you answered the message that I sent you. I didn't think that it was a troll. And you know, before we let you leave, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
You can find me. I'm mostly on Twitter and Instagram at 0G. That's with an X. XERO-GEE. 0G. My website is www.artofg.com. You can see some of my art on there and check out some of my voice demos and all that type of stuff. And I think that's everything. So
awesome. Right there. We could turn that into a jingle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start working on
jingle it forward.
That's right.
So Trav, you know the drill. Let everybody know where they can find you at the social media.
Right, you can find me on the Instagram at ZK Audio. I'm on the Twitter at TRAVIOSCK, where I'm also on Letterboxd, ranking and rating my daily movie watches. And D, if they need them cuddles, boy, where they gonna find them at?
I don't know where you're gonna find the cuddles.
Oh, we know.
You might find me and my cat at Rebellious.
You cuddling right now? Look at you.
You're being terrible. You're being a terrible host right now. So. You can find me as always at rebellious_D23 at Instagram.com. And Banks, if they need a hero, even if Michael Myers or the quicksand comes, where can they find a hero at, sir?
Hey, you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, everybody, for watching this interview. Make sure that you check out some more interviews that we have here on the channel, along with reaction videos and reviews. Make sure you check out our podcast, where we have brand new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down below in the description, and then the video of that interview is up here on YouTube on Friday. So with that being said, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.